This is the toughest interview in the history of the world. The candidates were dumbfounded when they got their papers because the whole paper was empty. Everyone was confused but didn't dare to say anything because just now the examiner announced 3 rules. No one is allowed to dirty their papers, no one is allowed to talk to the examiner or the security guards, no one is allowed to leave the room before the end of the exam. Violating any of the above rules will be disqualified. At the same time, there was only one question and only one answer. No one dares to make a sound because they've just been told not to talk to the examiner. Seeing that no one answered, the examiner started the countdown for 80 minutes and then turned around and left. Looking at the empty paper in front of us, we were all confused as to what the interview questions were. It seems that it's not easy to get a position that pays $5 million a year. At this moment, a brunette woman finally could not hold back. She thought the company should want them to write a career report. As soon as she started to write, a security guard approached her and she was unceremoniously kicked out of the room, with unknown consequences, because she had violated the first rule and soiled the paper. When the others saw the scene, they put down their pens in a hurry, not realizing that writing could be considered as dirtying the test paper. So how should they answer the question? Just when the crowd was clueless, a man named Carter laughed. He said the examiner only said 3 prohibited things, meaning that as long as you don't violate the 3 rules, anything else can be done, such as getting up and standing up or punching here. As expected, the security guards did not react after he did these things, seeing someone take the lead. Other candidates gradually relaxed and began to think about why the paper was blank. A long-haired girl thought that perhaps the words on the paper needed some special method to appear, such as light. Others also agreed because now we can only take one step at a time. The most important thing is to find the interview questions quickly. So they started experimenting. They looked at the paper against a light source but didn't see any change in it. At this point, Paul suddenly thought that maybe we need to use special light, such as X-ray, ultraviolet, infrared and so on. But there is no relevant equipment in the room. But there were a lot of people and a lot of ideas. And when the others were at a loss, the blonde said that there must be an emergency light in the room of such a big company, and that it might be some kind of special light. And they decided to crack the place. They decisively knocked out the lights here when everything went dark, and sure enough, the emergency lights came on in the next second. A kind of black light. They rushed to get the test papers, but nothing showed up on them. Carter thought that there might be some other way to make the paper show up, so he brought in the brunette's paper, which he thought was made of a special material, and blackened it with a pencil, which might work, but the results were obvious. But soon he had a new idea. Since light and pencil did not work, it might be better to try liquids. So he tore the paper into 2 and gave one of them to Paul to fill in with saliva, while he experimented with urine. But it didn't work. There was nothing we could do about it. At this point, the bearded man, who rarely spoke, gave his opinion that this was not an interview, but a game for the higher-ups. They offered us $5 million a year to attract us here just to see us perform like monkeys. But the girl with the glasses disagreed with him. She knew this company, their superiors, wouldn't do such a boring thing because this company emphasizes on efficiency, and now they are dedicated to researching longevity. Thinking back to the examiner's words, the crowd instantly understood that means that as long as they enter this company, they can